Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be working on this door, and the problem that we are going to be working on is last week when I got stuck in the basement, in last week's video, when I got stuck in the basement, I was pulling on this doorknob like really hard. And one of the things that I saw when I was pulling was that the actual door itself was flexing when I pulled on the doorknob. And when I saw that happening, I decided to take the doorknob apart and tighten the screws. But all that was doing was pinching the metal door together, and it wasn't accomplishing anything. So because we have this problem with the actual door flexing and this actually moving up and down, as you can see, that's no good. I'm going to be trying to put wood inside the door. I'm just going to be using some standard 2x4, and I have been prepping those pieces of 2x4 off camera. So let me show you where I'm at right now. So here is the 2x4, pretty much the inside of this door, which I measured from the top up there, is 1 5/8 inches. So I ripped up 2x4 to 1 5/8 inches. And my goal is just to put a little piece, it doesn't have to be really big, on this part of the door with a hole, of course, going through so that the tongue could go through. And I'm going to be cutting a half circle around the 2x4 so it could go around the doorknob in the inside, you know, getting some meat down here and here. And the way I'm going to be doing that is with this nice little jig that I did. This is how I'm going to be getting the half moon done. Although I'm going to be making this hole here and then cutting it, I don't think I'm going to be able to put the whole entire piece in place. I might have to cut a lot off of this, but I'm making it as thick as possible. But this is new territory for me, so I'm just giving you an idea of what I'm gonna do. Those things might change as the video goes on, but let's make this half moon cut first and see where we're at. So here we are. We're going to be working on this side of the door first. And what I did was I made this hole on the wood bigger than this one, just so that I have that play while inside the door. But the first thing I have to work on is find a way to get this big piece inside the door. And I only could work with this door here. I thought about making a hole, like a hole down here, and then shoving it in. But then I have to, you know, put a backer and then fill it in with the Total Bolt fairing compound. But that's gonna make the door weak and it defeats the purpose of what I'm doing. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna cut it right down the middle here and make it two separate pieces. So I'm gonna shove one piece above, one piece below, and then get it as close as possible together. And hopefully that works. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna cut this piece as small as possible to get it inside the door and then push it in. But I think my best bet is to cut it in the half point. From here to here is 1 inch, and from here to here is 1 inch. So I'll just cut it halfway and shove it in. That worked way better than expected. A little bit of a struggle to get it in, but it worked. Let me put this in so you guys could see it, and it works. The only thing is that the wood is sticking out a bit over here, but that's fine. Worst case scenario, I'll use this portable band sander to take the wood off. But yeah, let's start putting the bottom piece in. Awesome. This top piece is loose, as you guys can see. You guys see that? I'm thinking about maybe putting PL on the bottom part. We'll see. Let's see what happens. Let's put in this bottom piece though. Shit. All right, so let me just update you. So I got this side in first and then I put in that side. But unfortunately, when I put in the right side piece of wood, this side dropped. It must have pushed the door more open and it dropped down. So I decided I am going to glue it in place, and I'm using a clamp so that when I put in this bottom piece and the top piece, there's no way that this is going to, you know, let loose. But I think already as is, we're making good progress. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be using the belt sander to take this part off and whatever's showing. But yeah, so the next piece is this bottom piece down here. Hopefully everything goes smooth. All right, I got all 5 pieces in place. Off camera, I saw that that back piece was off, so I just put a screw in through here, as you can see, and I was able to move it around with a needle nose from this side. So we got everything super tight and close. And now we just have to let that PL set up, and then we could put all of this back together. I am also off camera going to make this nice and smooth and clean, fill in all those little cavities. And I'm also going to fill this part in, because if you guys saw the last video, I banged this in so that the door won't get caught on the door frame itself. This door frame right here, this part right here, the door frame. So I am going to be filling that up because it is dented in, so that this part of the door could be flat, and we have no security problems here. So let this set up, and then I'll put the hardware back. Because once I put the hardware back, I can take the clamps off, because the hardware is going to be squeezing it together, and the rest of the curing time will be done with the actual doorknob itself. So yeah. So that's it. We're back where we started, and check it out. The door is not moving in or out. It's not flexing because of the wood that we put in there. So this ended up being a home run. I thought it was gonna be a little more difficult to get the pieces in, but it's only a matter of making it the right size to fit through that hole so you could, you know, finagle it in place. The PL is a must. If not, some pieces are thicker than others. I don't know why, because I've ripped it down with a circular saw with a guide. So it should be the same thickness, but maybe because how the door is flexing, the top part might be bigger than the bottom part. Same thing with the left and the right. So you will have to use the PL and clamps to hold it in place. And then, you know, put all the hardware back. I did tell you guys I was going to fill this part in over here with some Total Bolt fairing compound. Now this is nice and flat. So when I bring the painter in, but that happens when I finish this side. When I bring the painter in, he is able to paint that, and all this stuff right here, all this fairing compound that's all the way around will disappear, and it'll look like one solid door. The high school I went to, there was automotive classes, and one of the things that I hated doing was body work. And for the past like month and a half, I've been doing a lot of body work on a door. Although it's kind of not the same because it's a flat door, and on a car is usually curved and whatever. But yeah, the door's coming out good. So now we don't have to worry about the safety of the tools inside the basement because of this doorknob, and there's no flexing going on around. So we're in good shape. So this is where I'm gonna end this video. If you learned something new, you could show me by giving me a like. Any comments or questions, leave it in the comments down below. And if you're interested in seeing more projects, consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks.